Hey, welcome everybody to Friday Night at the Crib. I posted the link in case anybody'd like to join us on the right-hand side. I think we're going to mostly be talking about Bounty, and also we're going to talk about Live Rampage and the death of the dub that's coming sooner than we thought. And it seems like you need to use the Proto Tideseeker, which is that's out of left field. At least to me, I had no clue anything like that was going to happen. Maybe some other people knew it was going to happen, but I had no clue that we needed to build the Proto Tideseeker in order to do this. This should have been announced well over a month ago, because most people thought they were just sort of a throwaway fleet. Yep, more BS as far as Darren says, but yeah, it's the problem of when they communicate the issue. I mean, people might have started building them when they had a little bit of downtime and whatnot, and we still don't know if we need 2 fleets of Manticores, and maybe we can build the Proto Centurion, the Proto Tideseeker, and the unknown Proto Garrison Hall. So I don't know. I'll go ahead and start introducing people from left to right on your YouTube screen. Mike keeps on jumping in and out, I guess, just to make things difficult on me. But Northman, the Northman.
Hello, everyone.
And Magic Mike.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I had some technical issues.
No problem.
Be right back.
Grimace.
What's up, y'all?
And Dr. Death.
Hello, everyone.
And this is Hefe. So I guess everybody has differing experiences related to the bounty based on your base technology and based on your ship technology. Should we start going through that at this point, or should we? I guess we can do that now. I mean, how is everybody finding it at this point?
I think it's another PvE event, which people have said many, many, many times. The banking while you're getting hit stuff makes absolutely no sense. The hitting anybody kind of makes sense this time because hardly anyone's doing the bounty, but it's still dumb. I mean, I find it pretty easy to get points. I haven't really played much at all, but it's just because it's boring as shit. It's just a horrible event, in my opinion.
But you are one of the people that have all of the. You have enough of either the ballistic or penetrative turrets to keep people out.
Yes.
Or not?
Yes.
Okay, so that's one experience for people like that. Is anybody else besides myself like 1 short or 2 short of one or the other to keep out the new MC Play 2? Nope, everybody's got them. Okay, so yeah, it's a different experience for the people that are afraid that people are going to come in and hit your base and you're going to be doing just merely pass through. So because of the change in the structure, basically the structure of bounty, that you can hit anybody. It's not a matter of, hitting people that have more bounty than you. You can hit anybody no matter how much bounty you have. So in somebody in my situation, I'm much more careful about how I accrue bounty, because actually getting bounty itself is fairly easy. And until the MC Plate came out, I had no problem keeping players out of my base. But I haven't been hit this bounty, but I'm not gaining that much bounty just because I don't want to get hit, because not just losing half my bounty, it's the second time you get hit, because I can keep players out the first time they hit me, but with the short the shortened bubbles or damage protection period of time, your outpost isn't going to repair in time. So, and your dock's not going to repair in time. So, I don't know. I guess a lot of people are just. Go ahead.
It comes down to, like you said, just managing. You have to manage what you're doing. I mean, that's part of the strategy. And if you don't have all the turrets to keep people out, you have to be careful, and you may not get all the prizes. And that's kind of the point. You're not supposed to get everything.
But everybody that already has all the prizes can get as much as they want. Has all that tap, can get as much as they want. Nobody's going to hit them.
Yeah, but those are, again, in the terminology, probably considered more in-game players than people that don't have it all, right?
Well, I'm just, but if you're missing one freaking turret, you've gone.
Well, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right at all.
No, I understand the situation quite well. I just don't think it makes for a good game because of the broken nature of PvP at this point in time. So it just doesn't make sense as far as allowing players to go in there and catch up. I mean,
yeah, it's completely broken. It's just broken. Period. Like it's.
But you can game this bounty easy. I've got a level 67 in my alliance that's already sitting on almost 50,000 bounty points, and their base can be walked by anybody. I mean, literally, they don't have gates. They don't have any of the new turrets. And they're going to more than likely at the end of bounty claim every single prize there is.
There's plenty of techniques.
Frubbling and other issues.
No. They're not even frubbling. They just go out and constantly hit targets. And every time they come out of a target and they see that someone's gone into their base to hit them, they just bank their bounty.
So that works.
And they never lose any bounty. And then they got a 4-hour bubble, so they go keep hitting more bases and more of the PvE bases, and then their bubble drops. Someone comes along to hit them, they bank it again, and then before they get off for a long period of time, they do one more bank just to make certain no one will touch their base while they're offline for the night, and boom, that's how this player's been playing it. Almost 50,000 bounty points just by hitting PvE targets and just using those banks.
Okay,
but that's. If TXI is listening, it shouldn't be that way. The bounty the secure bounty should be disabled as soon as your base is hit. You know what I mean? So, and then there needs to be something put in that inspires players to take the chance of leaving that bounty unsecured. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there should be incentive to holding on to lots of unsecured bounty, and there's not.
Yeah, something that can't be gamed. Yeah, because when we originally heard about this idea before it was implemented, more of the idea was you would get less, a lower percentage of bounty, sort of like a hit down target, if you had kept on using your charges at this point, but banking. But there's different ways to do it. But the crux of the matter is that the PvP mechanism is broken at this point, as far as we can tell. And that's, now we have an event with changed rules that allows people to hit down on anybody with a broken mechanism that doesn't allow players that don't have all the technology to even come close to really guarding their base besides one hit. I don't know. I find it very frustrating. And as you saw on the Wednesday show, there's a lot of the upper end alliances. There's different people on the leaderboard than there used to be, because they want open communication. As far as I understand it, from what Padre said on the show, they want open communication with the player base. They want a balance restored to the game that makes it a more healthy thing, because these are the players that are boycotting are the ones that could take most advantage of what's going on. These are the ones that are willing to throw coins at it. They have all the technology. that's one reason they're not worried about it, but they're more worried about the sort of health. Part of it is they're worried about the health of the game and the fact that they've broken PvP so long that they're getting bored and really frustrated the way I read it. So, Ren, how's your raid?
Hey, sorry, I was just getting off mute.
No problem.
The bounty is okay. It's easy because the current imbalance means nobody can take bounty from me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair, but that's what it is. So I'm not even worrying about banking. Like for 4 hours, 5 hours, I think 4 hours today. You know, I got the 2,000 from Nexus and 2,000 from another Nexus and the grant, and I was just grinding points on easy NPCs, easy replicas. I didn't worry about banking. At some point, I was worth 9,700 points, and that's it. So it's easy. And I'm, by policy, not spending a single coin this whole event.
Agreed.
Right? And most of my alliance, if not everyone, is pretty much doing the same. They're doing bounty, but not spending a penny.
Mm-hmm.
I think XI will fix. I mean, I don't think they want the game to die, so I strongly believe they'll come up with a fix. Was directly told that it's their #1 priority to fix right now, and they're working hard on it and whatnot by their boss. I just don't know what the fix is going to look like. I know, and we discussed that on Wednesday show, that like options we'd like to see versus options we would not like to see.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had the same discussion. I watched it too, and it was a very good discussion. So it's, you know, I don't have much to get. And maybe I'll get the top price. I mean, I rarely ever get the top price, but this time I may.
Yeah, and I did find it a little bit. I'm not sure what the word is, but did you watch Live Rampage, as I like to call it?
Garbage report, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And his the reason that they were, you know, not releasing the Javelin and lowering the Halos to a redeem of 4, even though it's or a redeem of 2, just so everybody knows, it shows in the game if you don't have any Halos or you have less than the max, it shows 0 of 4, showing that you can earn 4 of them, when in reality you can only earn 2 of them. So don't go out and get an extra 10,000 points or 20,000 points thinking that you can earn this. It's in the forums, but it's not reflected in the game. And who knows, maybe, you know, it's reflected in the game and that's the way the rules are.
Are you talking about the Halo?
Yeah. The Halo, yeah.
Yeah, nobody can have more than 2, even though Redemption says 4. Yeah. Eventually they'll fix that, maybe the update on Tuesday. I don't know, but nobody can have more than 2. I have 1. I'll be able to redeem 1. And even though it's going to say, it says 0-4, once I redeem a second one, it's going to say owned, and I can't redeem anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And that's an issue because not everybody reads the forum.
Or watches shows.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Because some people may be scoring points to get 4 Halos, and they'll be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Because some people may need them.
Yeah. We asked Kickstarter to update that 0-4 there in the store to 0-2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
They're aware of it. That's all. Rampage is aware of it. But like you said, he posted on forums and everything. But you're right. That should be updated in-game, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Because people are potentially going out there, especially the solo player is out there and they're trying to get the points for them because like, okay, maybe I can get the 4 of them. But yeah, it's
I wanted to get 3 because I only have 1 voucher too. So I thought, oh, okay, if I can get 2 more, I have 1, I'll have 3, and that means I'll have all 8 turrets. Then I need to max the bonus, right?
Actually, when they took away the 2 Javelin 2, they should actually put back the option to get 2 more what's it called? Volunteer?
Blunderbuss, maybe.
Yeah.
or the voucher. I agree. Something so other players who don't have or not maxed up could catch up.
Yeah.
So, well, never mind. I answered my own question.
Man, you're good.
What was the answer? What was the answer, Grimace?
Nothing. It was dumb.
36. Okay. All right.
99.
7.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you covered that. I mean, you asked about my bounty, but I think this is a great bounty for players to catch up. I mean, with a bank at your own leisure thing, it's kind of very easy to score 4,000 or 5,000 points a day, and then the event with 20,000 points, close to zero effort and zero risk. Even if you don't play, I mean, in a raid, you don't get points if you don't play, don't hit the targets. Here, there's a chance players could be getting 4,000 points a day, which is literally zero effort, just show up.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I figured I was like 17,600 or 17,800. With just doing
yeah, you're right,
defense.
17, 4.2 a day times 4, 16.8.
I thought I get 17%. I'm not sure.
I'm thinking the 4 checkpoint. Oh, because there's the extra 800. I think when you start bounty, right? So 17.6.
Yeah, I might have been. Yeah. That's the number I came up with. If you don't do anything else, you just immediately, log in every 6 hours, claim that, and then bank it, and then one of those times have somebody of yours 5 minutes before the bank come in, hit your base 5 times, and have the gunboat die each time. Give you an extra 1,000 a day. And then you bank at that point in time as well. And that, that gives you 800 times 4 plus 1,000 each day. So it allows you to get close to getting both halos. So, which is it's a good thing. It's just not, it feels very business-like, doesn't it?
Very what?
To do it that way. Business-like.
Business-like.
It just feels like it's not like a fun game mechanic. It's just sort of like, all right, I do this, that, and the other thing. It's not. Is there a lot of fun associated with that from everybody here? Do you find that fun to, you just log in, do this, that, and the other thing, and then you can come close to getting probably what you wanted. It's could be somewhat balanced, but it just feels. I don't know. It feels weird, doesn't it?
Feels like a job.
Yeah, I can see that.
You had to grind.
It's not even grinding. I mean, the one I have a hard time is waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning or staying up to 1 o'clock in the morning to claim that one.
Well, but if you time it, you don't have to because
I have 2 alarms on my phone a day just so I remember to at least log in 15 minutes before the second drop. So I get the one, wait 10 minutes, get the second one. I mean, don't need to be there every 6 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. Anything more on bounty? I mean, I know we'll probably get more into the nature of what PvP is right now, because we could transfer over to talking about more about the dubs going away and communication from Kixeye as far as the delayed nature of us knowing about these things, and how happy would players be if, like, okay, if I knew about the dub change a month ahead of time, I might feel better about it than I do now. Because who's actually hitting the, even though I have max Fangtooth, max Hunters, I prefer to hit the dub targets than I do to hit any of the skirmish targets that are on the map.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, same here, because you can just go hit one dub, kill it, and you're full.
Yeah. But how would you feel about, I think a lot of people don't like the current situation where it appears that we need to have the prototype Prototype Seeker or the Proto Centurion in the future and build that. How do you feel about that? You know, getting notice. Well, next week. So next week's going to be Tuesday. It's Friday right now. Like 4 or 5 days notice on this.
Again, it's garbage. Garbage communication. Every single time.
Because there's no long-term, you know, I hate to keep on bringing this up, but where is the works in progress, the WIP? This would communicate this stuff a month ahead of time, so the player base could understand and sort of come up with a plan on how to deal with the upcoming month.
I don't think anyone's surprised by the fact that the dubs are going away because we've known that for a while. It's just give us some time to start our fleets. And I guess they think they did because, they gave us the Prototype Seeker whenever. What was it? Was it like 2 months ago or something? I don't even remember when that thing came out.
But who would have ever thought a skirmish fleet is what you're supposed to hit these with?
Yeah, and then making 4 subsections that are all different. So you have to have 4 different fleets, and 2 of those sections are coming out at a later date to be determined, and we know how that always goes with kicks. Half the time it never gets done. It's just
it's quite easy.
Bad.
They look at what they can see and they say, the ship that the least people had built is the Prototype Seeker. Okay, let's make something there so they have to coin it so they can get some revenue.
Yeah, and then they're coming out with, brand new ships that, aren't these raid ships that we just built, like the Buckies and the Hydras, aren't they supposed to be viable for a year? And are they still going to be? Or is this are they still going to be, and then we're getting new ships on top of it? So we need all of those. So now we need even more dock space for all these chore fleets.
I saw this Rampage post, and you can see he's sitting there like a little chicken shit and reading off something he has on the screens. He's looking up to the right, to the left. What the fuck does that dude know anyway? That was just embarrassing to watch. Really? What the fuck? And the posting, they said that the PvP is you cannot get the Javelin 2 because the PvE is busted. You cannot get for Halo because the PvE is busted. We've known this for weeks. And it comes out just reading it from some page. Hey, this is what we have to say and whatnot. And last time when I looked, there was 2K people watching this Rampage post. 2K, okay. Hopefully there are like 25, maybe 30K players left in this game. 2K people watched it. They don't communicate whatsoever. What they have on the forum, that's just a goddamn joke, and they don't answer to anything anymore. So they're just hiding. They will not face the players and whatnot ever.
Well, there's obviously been, ever since we saw the Inferno Dragon introduced to the game, there's obviously been a change in the mindset of either management or game design, where we saw that we were forced to take damage. The Inferno Dragon, the Chameleon, every step along the way, and we saw a little taste of it with the release of the base parse targets, and then we saw it in this last raid. Every step along the way, we are seeing a different game than we saw before from PvE. But I'm not sure if it's intentional. I'm assuming it's intentional, but at the same time, they've shut down the player versus player game. So I'm not sure if it's intentional on that side, or we fucked up PvP, so we're gonna milk the PvE players in order to make up for our losses associated with fucking up the other part of it. It's hard to tell at this point. I'm not sure which is, if this is the intentional plan across the board, or this is just making up for the mistakes associated with the implementation of Tier 7.
Yeah, when they released the bounty prices with the 2 Javelin 2 and whatnot, the shows pointed out that, hey, look, you cannot do anything. The PvP is even more dead than it is now. And they came out 24 hours later, we remove the Javelin. And then they post again, oh, you cannot get 4 Halos 2 because that will also miss the balance. For me, it's like they don't have a clue on what they're doing.
Well, and especially the announcement by Rampage during live Rampage, that the reason they weren't releasing it is because base defense was too overpowered. And it wasn't base defense is too overpowered. It's the tier 7 bonuses that are too overpowered. So if you have everything, it's too overpowered. If you're missing one, it's going to take you days to kill an ongoing ship. I'm a little bit worried by what he said. The fact that, base defense is too overpowered. I've seen that in the past days, but this isn't really that situation. This situation is the fact that they've created a mechanism in the game that creates imbalance. Intentionally or not, I don't know.
Well, can I put on my tinfoil hat for a minute?
Don't you have it permanently attached?
Permanent hat, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
And you only have one?
There's been something I've been noticing in the game, and it's starting to concern me. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed this yet or not. But, I've got a bad feeling that when they go HTML5 on Battle Pirates, they're going to take Battle Pirates to mobile. And the reason why I'm thinking this is because I looked at last raid, I've looked at the FM, I've looked at now the current targets that are on the map, right, for doing our chores and stuff, right? And I've noticed a trend. If I go in and drive, I take a set amount of damage. If I auto, I take a little bit less damage. But if I auto and do not activate the target, so I don't go in and watch the battle, I only take half the damage that I take from any of the other stuff. And that's been across the board. So it's more like they're setting these targets up as mobile targets like you would do on a mobile game than what they are as a regular, war game like we're used to playing. Has anybody else checked that out and noticed that? Because even in the FM, I take, if I hit the target and auto it, I take about 2 hours of damage. But if I hit the target and I don't activate it, I only take an hour damage. And that's in a 117.
I've noticed that here and there with different targets, but I've never really noticed that it was consistent all the time.
In all last raid series, it was that way. This last raid we just had, it was that way.
Yeah, last raid I noticed it for sure.
I will not ever play Battle Power on a mobile. That will never happen.
Yeah, I don't see myself doing that either.
Mm-hmm. I'd use it to manage repairs and whatnot.
Yeah, I understand the app and whatnot. It's cool to repair a ship and whatnot, but playing the game on a mobile phone, what the fuck?
You can't even watch it. I mean, it just
years and whatnot on a computer. I will not go to a mobile phone to do the same.
then you can't even watch it. It just happens, and when it comes back, it lets you know the outcome.
Hey, think about building walls on the phone.
Well, it should be easier because you should just say, I want to build this many walls. Click the button.
Yeah. The game is fucked up bad. And I reckon that the last raid, they did not make money. They will not make money this bounty. So,
well, you can clearly see they got the message on the raid because these two TLCs running this week are not there by accident. I mean, they realize people were not able in any reasonable fashion or interested with the damage level on that raid to get the Manticores, which means second raid's up now and nobody's going to have the Manticore, or a very tiny percentage of players. So they were just going to go worse and worse each month. So there, two TLCs now where you can get both equipments, right? I don't think that was their original plan.
And the raid was so OP, it wasn't even funny.
I'm not disagreeing. I was one of the most prepared players.
Yep, I was very prepared.
and it was a carnage. It was horrible.
It's ridiculous.
I got a flagship and I got some points, but again, I did the raid without spending. I mean, I only spent coin in the first few hours to record the videos and publish them. After that, I slow repaired everything, and I was just taking turns with my Manticores, my Skyfires, and my Phoenixes, and slow repairing everything.
Mm-hmm. It was silly because people that had 2 fully outfitted Manticores should have been able to do that raid.
It's this problem has been around since the Tideseeker, when they started with this whole cumulative bonuses the more ships you have on the fleet, because then having 1 or 2 means you're going to die because you don't get the whole aura bonus times 4 times 5.
Yep.
So, you know, that's why you see people with 2 Manticores doing actually worse than people with a full fleet of Phoenixes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When we see at the last raid, you see a massive response of the players left, all the pages were people, and they came out, hey, we have reduced, and you know, that was peanuts. And they did not answer to any post whatsoever. They were silent. The raid was for 6 days, 5 days, they didn't say a word. It's the worst revenue, I reckon, from them, from any raid. They did nothing. And why can't they say anything? Why can't they change it? You know, okay, the damage is overpowered. We have to tune it down. They didn't do anything. They did
Well,
not.
they must not think that, because look at the FM. It's still.
I think they're going to do it like for next raid. I think we're going to see an improvement in the targets.
But you know, FM, that's a funny thing. You know, if people expect they can do all the stuff in FM the first night, you know, get the chest, get the new prices and whatnot for free, that's just stupid. I can hit 317 with my fleet, and that's like 8 hours repair and whatnot. Okay, I have 1.5 million. I put my fleet to repair. I don't nag about that. I don't fucking care. Next day, I can do 3 more. But
I totally agree with you, Northman. That's exactly what I do. I hit 3 or 4 of them 117s, and dock, repair. Next day I do a bit more. Next day I do a bit more. If I have other stuff to repair, then I do, because we have 5-6 days to do it. Yeah. I really don't see a reason for people to be expecting to hit the top target for 20 minutes of damage and do everything in a night.
Exactly. I agree 100%, right. So
but do you think it's right to have 2.5 hours damage on one target?
On the top, most like hardest target, I don't mind.
Me neither.
I think.
Here's the thing: if I don't like damage, I get my partially retrofitted icebreakers out, and I literally can do 111s for, I don't know, hours. Mm-hmm. And if I don't want, you know, I'm not against the top target in each class being hard. It just can't wipe out your fleet, or you know, like if you can do 3 or 4 of those. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I agree 100%.
But you're doing 3 or 4 of them. I mean, the big problem I have with the rollout of the Inferno Dragons was the technology they provided us wasn't the technology that people are using to do well in the game. And they blocked, you know, as an example, the people that were doing well early on were using Zeloses, and then now it's the Savage Kodiaks. And that's, I find that is a little bit of an issue associated with, you know, trusting them, because we don't have previews. We don't have the understanding of what the, you know, the general player base doesn't have previews or a greater understanding of these targets prior to building them. And then everybody built them with the tokens that they had and the time that they had, and then they changed them right after we did that. You know, I was all cool with the original 117s, and then they changed them after we used all our tokens to build them. And now we realize, okay, well, we needed to use other stuff as opposed to the RFX reloader. Maybe you're better off with Magnus 3. Maybe you're better off with, instead of, you know, until the flagship comes out, you're better off with a Savage Kodiak than building 5. While they were telling us in the forums that this is built for 5 Inferno Dragons. It's the lack of communication and lack of, I don't even know what you call that, because we're afraid, because we've seen in other targets that they'll block stuff. And so do you build it the way they tell you, and then, or do you build it the way you think it's going to work and be afraid that they're going to just arbitrarily block one of the halls that you're using or some part of your technology that they're going to negate at some point along the way?
I think the other thing too is that a lot of people don't want to spend, because a lot of people only have maybe a couple hours in the evening to get on the game, and they don't want to spend those hours just doing the FM. They want to be able to do the fun stuff in the game. They don't want to just be doing chores. And I think
but now, like I was telling you guys, I'm using only 4 dragons. I'm not using a Savage. I'm not using a Zelos. I go in, I attack a 117. I never activate the target. I just let my fleet go, like I would do any other chore that I'm autoing. And I go off with my base hitter and go find bases to hit while it's hitting the 117. When it comes out, I've got an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of damage on 4 dragons without ever activating the target. I'm popping 6 to 7 of those targets out before my fleet's dead and my FM's done. And I've never done a thing. I don't drive it. I don't look at the target, nothing. I just let the ships go.
I need to get your build from you then.
Yeah, we need to get your build.
Everyone needs your build then.
Yeah, before the end of the show, pull that up and screen share that, because that's not the experience that I think 99.9% of the players are coming across.
But how many players are actually trying to actually just full auto the target? I mean, just launch your fleet at the target, but never activate it. Don't go in and look at it. Just let it go. I did it by accident one day because I was sitting there. I was driving just like everybody else. You know what I mean? And then I got distracted. I had some stuff come up just as I'd hit a target. So I walked away, took care of what I had to take care of, and was like, oh, I'm just going to have to repair a dead fleet. When I came back, it only had an hour and 15 minutes damage on it. And I was like, wait a second, this isn't right.
Where do you hit it from? What position?
I'm coming in from about 3 o'clock.
Tag it from the back is what I always say. But
I actually have a point of clarification, because I kind of walked in and turned this on before I could get in. I heard Renan Northman say something along the lines of like 2.5 hours of damage on the top target was okay. Is that for the FM or was that for the raid?
FM.
But I mean, Dr. Death, I think great help to the community, because I don't think they're going to change the FM targets for a while. If you could demonstrate this in some way, both the build and how you're doing this, because this is, I don't know. Does anybody else find this to be?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah. I find this extremely interesting.
I've never tried to auto it, so I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. I had never tried to auto it before. That's what I was talking about. I'm finding this in a lot of targets. That's why I'm concerned that they're taking the game to a mobile platform, because that's the way mobile platforms are. You find a target, you launch at it, and it tells you what damage you took and how much you won from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know what I mean? That's the way it is in most mobile games. And that's the way the targets have been playing out here. I mean, look at how we were doing with the Bucks. You did better if you never activated that target. If you just full autoed with the Bucks through that whole raid series, you did better every time. You know what I mean? But if you activated the target, you took more damage.
Oh, I didn't find that.
Oh, I did.
I was consistent on both.
Yeah, I mean, I won't keep on asking, but can you show us in some way, so people can get a greater understanding of what you're doing and learn from it? Or, if not, I'll stop asking about it. But I think that would be.
I'm going into my base right now to see how much repair I have, because I went out. I didn't do my FM until today.
Okay.
Let's see.
Maybe a 3-hour show, but hang out. We'll see how this works out.
No cruise.
3 hours for now.
No cruise, Dr. Death?
No crew, no Savage, no nothing. And I mean, I've decided that's the way I'm going to do it from now on. I'm running.
Well, if you're doing it that
I'm running
way, I would agree.
I've got 4 of the rockets on each of my dragons. I've got 3 Gale 3s and a Phalanx on each of my dragons. I've got 3 of the M's, 2 of the X's, and then I've got the standard special layout. I've got that lowered explosive mount on there and high yield warheads. I've got frontline countermeasures. I've got the RFX engine. I've got the reloader, and then the special for the ballistic and what is that? That's the. Let me stop repair so I can pull the build up.
Okay. Yeah, because I think this is the most interesting part of the show. If you're actually, for people to see what you're doing here.
Yeah, Alloy Armor MX3 is the other special I got on there. I mean, it's just a simple build. It's not even a special build. It's not even outstanding, But I've got all 4 ships built the same way, and I just full auto. No Kodiak, no Zelos, no crew.
Well, it's better than you going full Monty on us. But yeah, we're willing to watch the full auto instead of full Monty. But yeah, whenever you have a chance, we'll keep the show open until because I think everybody would love to see this.
Or just put the build up in Huggies and put it up.
Or how he's doing it, because it's
I mean, dude, you go to 3. You go to 3
build.
o'clock. You go to 3 o'clock. You hit the target and you don't go in it. I mean, there's not much else he's told you how he did it.
Yeah, I mean that's all I'm doing. I'm not even going in and looking at the target. I'm just a full auto, and I take less damage doing that than what I do when I go in and let it auto, or when I go in and try and drive it. And that's driving with missiles and the whole, with the rocket and the whole 9 yards.
Okay. No, I'm not doubting you. I'm just saying, it just
I've got 4.5 hours to repair, and I have not coined since this last raid series. So I've got 0 coin on my account at the moment, and I ain't planning to put any on yet. So I will have this fleet repaired for the next show I get on, and during the next show live, I will let you guys watch the target turn red, and then show you the damage afterwards.
No. We're staying on until we see this.
Well, you go 4.5 hours.
Oh, yeah. It may be midnight. We're staying on. I'm sorry.
But that's what
sorry, Hefe means he's staying on. I'm not.
Yeah. Are you curious, Ryan, to see how to do this?
Yeah, but not curious enough to wait however long time. No, either now or next week.
Somebody else had done a full auto on a 117 yet to see if they had the same experience I was getting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Darren's doing it. Darren's putting his build out in chat, and he's trying right now. So yeah.
That's cute.
Okay.
I don't even know what the
Johnny
hell that
Cash? It sounds like Johnny Cash. That was rum. So
I'll give you one guess.
Romster.
Turn out
It
the
wasn't
lights. The Party's Over by Willie Nelson.
No, Willie Nelson. It sounded a little like Johnny Cash, but okay, yeah. Willie would be the.
Let me see if we can make it better.
Turn out the lights.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's Willie.
The party's over.
Okay. All right.
What you trying to say, Rom?
What the fuck you think I'm trying to say? These stupid idiots need to have something shoved up their ass with a trigger on the end of it and pull it.
Whoa.
That's classy.
Don't hold back or anything.
Can you make that a little more understandable?
I'm good now.
Okay.
So what
Blow their heads off.
What you're telling us, Rum, is that you love the current state of affairs in the game.
No.
Does this have anything to do with Rampage Reports?
Yes. And if it's a pun, okay, or whatever you wanted to call it. What the hell was the 404 note back behind his shoulder?
I don't know, but that's an error.
It's a joke. 404 page not found, but he had pun not found. It's just a joke. He's trying to be funny.
You need to stop doing that.
Emphasis on trying.
Yes. So, George, how's your bounty going since you're the most recent addition here?
Oh man, it's been great. I cut some grass. I put up a new fence in the garden. Let's see. Played with cottonmouth earlier today. Yeah, it's been a great bounty so far.
Really? What? How did that work out with the cottonmouth?
Oh, he did.
22 and a head?
Well, he was. I guess he was in the neighbor's yard, and they were trying to shoot him with something. He got underneath where like they got the animals. I just went and grabbed him, pulled him out, and then he got some lead poisoning, I guess.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
You make some snake chili out of it?
No, I just walked away. I just got him out from going to bug the livestock. I mean, I freaked out the neighbor because I just picked the thing up and he's like, "What the hell's the matter with you?" I'm like, "Dude, you just got to be careful. That's all." Hell. I don't know. But yeah, great bounty. You know? So far, so good.
Very nice.
Whole lot of
Glad to hear
PvP going on from what I hear.
Yeah, it's weird what's going on. But yeah, not even gonna pretend to understand it because they know way better than I do.
Yeah, we don't know nothing.
The thing I'm scared about is what exactly are they going to nerf in the base because they're blaming it on base defense. So what are they going to nerf in the base to take and bring this back in what they consider on par?
Cottonmouth River, Jim Croce.
I don't know that they're going to what the hell, rum. I don't know that they're going to nerf anything. I think that they're going to take a look and hopefully find what the hell they broke. I mean, that would be my first inclination if I were them. I mean, I'd find out what happened, where they broke it, and I mean, I'm guessing that it's either the group turret stack or the armor. One of those wasn't tuned hand in hand with the other, and that's got to get fixed, is my guess. Which way they go, what they're going to do, I don't know, but that's where I would start.
Well, I've been thinking about that myself, but couldn't we go back a little bit further? I mean, deflection itself, when they introduced deflection, they've started getting these numbers that are just way out of control. You know what I mean? When they went away from our standard resistances, where we could get, a 98% penetrating, resistance, you know what I'm saying? When they went away from that and went to deflection, they started getting into some crazy, crazy numbers. And
I mean, why are we dealing with 8-digit numbers and things like that? Yeah.
But that's already out of the friggin' bag. I don't know if they can actually do anything.
But why do they do it?
I don't know. I mean, I thought we were going to go to micro swings and stuff, and that certainly is not a micro swing.
I'm sure there's a joke on people
I'm sure there's a couple of them there.
Things, but yeah, whatever. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, that was it. I mean, I just I'm curious to know what they're planning to fix that, and then 4 new fleets in a year. I don't know when the hell I'm going to build them or where I'm going to put them, but damn, that's one way to still birth a new release in the game. That's for sure.
I don't know if I'm missing something, and I want to say my point and ask a question, because I watched Rampage Report after I saw your post, George, to see, okay, what the fuck are they doing? And okay, so they say we can co-op the target. I will use the example he gave numbers, the base parts. We can co-op that. So I'm assuming 2 people go in with Hydras or Buckies or a mix, and each person gets 250,000 base parts. Or you can build the proto whatchamacallit, and then you get 500,000 base parts. Now, I don't see myself ever hitting this new target alone just for base parts, much less building a brand new fleet. If I can get my buckies and, I don't know, hit the 80 something, 90 something, and get 150,000 base parts for half an hour damage. So that means I can probably fill up and repair my buckies overnight on autopilot. So why would I even go after this?
I don't know that I would assume that it's on auto. I mean, the reason why I have concerns is because, like, for example, the Proto Hunters is not the Pro. Is it the Proto Hunter?
Proto-Tide Seeker.
Yeah, Proto-Tide Seeker. That was the one they used as an example, right? So that, when you're using that one, it's either that or the Hunters. I don't know that you're going to have something that's viable for the Fangs. Then, like, I have concerns for that. And then the disparity between they should do a lot of things, Ren.
I know. I'm just saying this thing should allow us to use any of the 2 latest tier whatever class.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, so I don't know, like, if they're tuning it for that thing to be able to do it by itself. When that first came out, it was supposed to be just a little bit better than the Hunter, right? And I don't know. I don't know how they would tune that to a point where you would need 2 people or you need this new fleet. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of things coming out that is very binary now, and I don't like that whole idea.
I get it. No, what I'm trying to say is it sounds to me like an entirely optional thing for players who are bored shitless and have nothing else to do. Because, again, I can use my Hunters today. I never started building Proto-Tide Seekers. I can just use my Hunters today and get uranium. I don't do much because it's much more effective to go in the dubs with icebreakers. But I can go back to putting my Hunters out there and autoing 4 102s. That's what they can do. 4 102s on auto. I don't even load the target from the map. And I think that gets me 100,000 uranium, right? Is it 25,000 each 102 or 40,000? I don't remember. Anyways, I can do 4, okay? And why would I ever go into this new target or build a whole fleet for that? I'm not. I get, to me, it's kind of like, okay, it's useless, but I'm not going to be outraged because it's something I can fully ignore. Just like chameleons. I can fully ignore chameleons. I even tried building them for the expedition, and they kind of suck on the expeditions. The ones made for them, in theory. They still kind of suck, or I don't know how to build ships anymore. But I could live without that. Nobody has to build them.
But here's the problem, Ren. Here's the problem. If you look at the dubs throughout the history of the game, every time a new dub has come in, what has Kickside done? They've dumped a whole bunch of new prizes into the dub that you had to hit the dub to get.
Right, and if they do that, then I see a reason to build something or to go blast my current fleets in there with someone else. Otherwise, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not even concerned about that. What I'm more concerned about is that we've been seeing a pattern of them releasing, raid targets onto the map for chores, but they're tuned up rather than down, or tuned specifically for going to the map. And I don't know. I have this feeling that they're constricting resources to force you're not going to be able to ever do anything for free anymore. Like, that's like the 111s. I know a lot of people are starting to fall back on those 111s. I have a feeling those things are going to just disappear if that keeps going.
Yeah, but going back to what we were discussing, who in a forum or whatnot has asked for something co-op? Who wants to do a thing co-op? I don't. I never enjoyed it. I don't see the point of it. I want to get my own stuff.
I might be guilty. I like co-op, but I like it as like a thing for fun. If you guys remember the Borbus raid cycle from 2015 or 2016, there was this massive Borbus Nexus target that players could do together for fun. Literally, they were not worth raid points at all. I think we got a crew or something out of uranium, something out of them.
I remember that.
Those were fun. 4 players with Crusaders would get in, or with the Atlas carrier, or a mix of them, and just have fun, blow shit up.
Yeah, but co-op was a lot different back then when we had 5 times the player numbers.
And the other thing, I cherish every stuff they put out that put me out of the misery of using Fangtooth. I'm so sick and tired of using.
Oh, I can't stand them, Northman. I hear you, man.
I don't even do the TLCs with the Fangtooth anymore. I don't give a shit.
I was almost scrapping mine the other day, just so I don't use them ever again.
Yeah. And actually, one thing that actually could be positive, and it's so easy for Kickstarter to implement because they do it so easily here in the bounty. Give us two stuff to repair, a PvE and PvP. It's so simple. Do that every time in bounty. You have two stuff. You can choose if you want to repair to PvP, or you can start your PvE and you can start your PvP. That would be a massive boost for the community, for sure. That would be awesome.
Yeah, you won't hear me disagreeing.
No.
I think that the dual queue there should be either the dual queue, or at the very least, it should move from one fleet to the next. You know, you're going to go to bed, you have 6 hours on a fleet, 6 hours on the other fleet, you sleep 7 hours, whatever.
Yes.
You know, oh, you finish one fleet, move on to the next, keep repairing.
You know, I have also been playing War Command for many, many years. I'm high level there also. And if my base get busted when I'm sleeping, it automatically starts repair. When I wake up in the morning, my base is complete repair.
Or halfway repaired, whatever. But you're right, it just starts, right?
It's so fucking easy, but I'm not interested whatsoever. I don't understand why. Really, I don't understand why. Because if my base were repaired, wow. That would be fantastic.
I remember when we started Town Halls, like the very first couple, one point that the players were hitting real hard was at least the dock should auto-repair, because without a repaired dock, the game is never free to play.
Exactly.
Right? And, you know, it took some convincing, but we got them to do the auto-repairing dock, which back then was a big win.
If the base is repaired when wake up in the morning and whatnot, only you have the hours to repair your defending fleet, and that's half price and whatnot. Easy peasy, and then you can often be active. But if you wake up, if you're so unlucky, you only got the 12-hour bubbles, and you wake up in the morning, oh, it's only 4 hours left. Okay, you sit there, and you repair your defending fleet and whatnot, and you're passive. But actually, if at least the base was okay, that would be a huge boost for society, community.
Okay, I guess 2 points. One, I think, Ren, we missed a big opportunity years ago when they wanted to make the dock auto repair, and we didn't want it because we didn't want it associated with the bubble. You remember that?
Yeah, but back then I think dock repaired in like an hour.
It was a couple hours, but yeah, it was.
No, I think it was less. But I remember what you're saying. They thought about doing it, and the players overall were not for it.
Yeah, and the reason was because we were unhappy with the medal system. We were,
and there was a lot of trolling, and people just like, we wanted to be able to stop a player harassing other players by rocketing their docks.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to make the dock repair in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. And the other point is for Dr. Death.
But that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know. You know, I'm just trying to bring back. We've had Darren and Leonard Skinner try to repeat your FM experience, and they were getting 4 hours and 40 minutes. So there must be a secret that we're missing associated with that.
I don't see how they're getting that kind of damage, because I've got even 2 of my dragons don't even have all the armor on them yet.
Yeah, that's why I want to see it, because we're expecting that we're missing something that you're not. You're doing something that not everybody is.
There are people in my alliance who do the 117 with dragons on auto, but they take 6+ hours of damage after a target.
I just ran mine, which aren't optimized at all. I got tired of messing with them, so I gave up and just run them as is. But I also ran them with my Savage Kodiak, but I ran them on auto from 3 o'clock, and I got 2 hours and 38 minutes damage.
And that's with a non-optimized fleet?
Yeah, it has all the armors and stuff on it, but it's not all the gear on it's not optimized. It's not as well built even as yours. So
Did you load the target?
no.
Oh, you stayed on map.
Yep.
And that's without an optimized fleet. So
And I drive, like when I drive and do a pinch previously, and I don't know what changed, but last week I was doing it for an hour and 45 minutes. This week, consistently, I was doing 2 hours and 15 minutes every single time I drove it. So for me, 238 on auto, I'll just auto it.
Yeah, you know, I did notice a change over the last couple of weeks because I was driving them and I was consistently getting under an hour with 3, right? And what I've noticed is that the CMs are acting wonky. And there's one mortar turret in there particular that if I don't move, I shoot down all the mortars. If I'm moving or turning while that thing's firing, I will have mortars. My antis will fire at the furthest mortars, and the closest ones land like right on me. It's messed. Something's messed up.
If you don't bring anti-missile into the 117, will that mean you don't trigger that secondary weapon they have on the executioner?
You won't trigger it, but those first ones will eat you alive.
Yeah, I remember when George tried that because I did bring that up. He's like, oh.
I did try it, and I was like, nope, don't do it.
Okay.
All right. Are there any topics we haven't covered at this point? I mean, we haven't, you know, it feels like we've, you know, just beat the crap out of a lot of topics over the last couple of weeks associated with PvP and communication and other issues. Is there anything else that we should talk about that's not already been beat to death?
What PvP?
How close I came to scrapping my base live on the show today.
Yeah. I mean, just, you know, something that, you know.
I think the best.
You know, you would think with this many players just completely not happy, someone would notice.
And I think they did, George. I just think they feel traumatized by introducing overdamage. By their own mistake, introducing overdamage just before last bounty and everyone going on pitchforks. And they're like, okay, let's not do big jerk move changes this time and just wait. So they're doing like some small patch, like Band-Aid fixes for bounty. But I don't know. I fully expect them to fix the PvP match right after bounty, because if they don't, they're pretty much throwing the entire game in the garbage.
We can discuss in a way we did that on this show on Wednesday how to fix it and whatnot, and we talk about, okay, you can do something with the armor and whatnot, but that's also a narrow balance in a way. Are we going to give the ship enough deflection to get in, or can they give it the deflection that's just an even game? Okay, if you are good with the defense fleet and whatnot, that will stop them, not the turrets. They are so way off in the balance. It's not easy to get a good fix, and I don't think they will get a good fix. The fix they do will either be bad the other way or bad the other way. I don't think they can get an even fix on that, really. If they get the armor to that we have more deflection and ballistic than what the base can give us, what happens then?
Oh, sorry for interrupting. I just did a 117 to check the times. I just finished like 1 hour and 25 driving, but just bulldozing everything, and no crew, but a savage.
That's
Savage,
fine.
yeah.
Is that's what you guys are seeing
That's
too?
about what I get.
He's doing it on auto.
125 on auto? I drove.
With no savage.
With no.
Yeah, I don't have a savage build because I'm not, you know, I'm not sure I should spend the 8 days. in order to build it.
Savage?
No, I never.
No, if
built
you
it.
think about it, right? I know there's
Because it
Manticore
was
and
always too
stuff,
fucking
but the 8
slow.
days with FM tokens from 1 week become 2 days,
Mhm.
right? If you spend the 6 FM tokens from 1 single week, you get the Savage done in 2 days.
Yeah, yeah.
My Savage is like 4 years old and whatnot, maybe more.
Yeah, mine's old too, but I mean, when people started complaining, rightfully so, that they didn't have the Savage and didn't have the blueprint and hadn't been offered in I don't know how long, Xi just put it in April's rate. So people, and it was cheap. I think it was cheap. I don't remember. You know,
Yeah,
so now if
I know
somebody
the
wants to
blueprint.
have a Savage to put in the corner, all you gotta do is 6 days of FM tokens and 2 days of slow build. Done.
I have a new topic. Why the fuck do we need to scrap ship? Why don't we get more capacity? The only thing I have never done, I have never scrapped the lead ship, but I have scrapped a lot of shit that maybe I should not, or I wanted to keep on, but I don't have the capacity to keep on.
Now, I'll tell you what I heard years ago, you know, publicly. I don't know who was the forum mod at the time. Was it Robert or Swag or whoever? But what they said back then was just, oh, I don't know if it's their coding or Flash as a platform, having to load more than X ships when you open the dock and you scroll to select the ship, because apparently at that point, all the ships in there, they kind of load up. Their elements, weapons, armor, everything. They said the performance, the game couldn't perform if they had added more, so they're very careful about blah, blah, blah. Now, is that true? Is that BS? I don't know. I'm just repeating what I heard.
Huh. I just, I'm sorry, I'm going to go on a tangent. I just ran a 117 on auto with 4 hulls. I got an hour and 55 minutes of damage.
That's good.
That's interesting.
I just did another
you
one
load
in
the target?
3 hours.
Nope. Didn't load the target or anything.
Okay, I'm going to do one now.
o'clock.
Then. I'm going to put a GB as a flat. Oh, you know what? No, let me just move the ship here.
What
There's
world are you in, George?
going on right now with these targets, and if you load them, you take more damage. I don't understand what's going on, but there is.
Well, I mean, that's double what I get driving, but still, for auto, that's actually kind of impressive.
So 4 ships, no crew?
Savage in
4
there either.
ships. No Savage, 4 ships, and just threw it in at 3 o'clock because I just wanted to see what he was doing. And I mean, what did you say? You got an hour and 20?
1 hour and 20 driving.
Right
No.
around an hour. I do about an hour and 20 to an hour and 30 tops
On auto.
on auto.
Okay, so I'm doing it now. I'm not going to load it. My ships already had an hour and 25 damage on them, so let's see at the end how much I have.
That's interesting.
Let's
George,
keep
what
talking.
world are you in?
400s?
Okay.
So it didn't go to alpha?
That's what I was trying to tell people. For some reason, there's something going on, you know, because now if when you're doing it for what, an hour to an hour and a half when you got a Savage Kodiak in there, right?
Yeah, just under an hour.
Okay, and that's with a Savage though, so that's cutting your
Yep.
penetrating defense, you know, cutting the penetrating damage way down, right?
Yep.
So what is it when you drive it without the Savage?
Crap, I don't know. I made
For
a video.
me,
I
it was
think.
at me about 40 minutes without the Savage per target.
The drive that you ran had, that was 125, and that's pretty good. You cannot complain about that.
No, I don't. Like I said, I do 125. I can do 4 targets easy, sometimes better if I put a crew and I have the rockets and everything.
Yeah.
I think the best I did was like 6 targets in a row. So I don't complain.
Dr. Death, on auto, have you ever thrown a Savage in the front?
No, I've never even built my Savage. I scrapped the one I had years ago, and then I've never built one since.
I'm kind of curious because there was a time I was testing something about the placement of the hulls, and I had found something a little bit strange, and I only found it because I had taken the Savage out. I'm gonna go put the Savage in and run another one and see what happens, because now I'm kind of curious.
But the Savage can only be put in one place.
My Savage won't move.
Yeah,
And
but
this
you
damn activate button.
Yeah, but you were talking about the position. You can only put in one place either way.
Right. Find another 117 here.
In the meantime, let me ask you guys something about the PvP fix. In my mind, whatever Kixeye does to fix PvP, right? The original intent, the way I read the statistics in the ships and the armors and turrets and everything, the original intent is that the Onslaught should be very, very good against explosive, not as good against ballistic and penetrating. The MSC, very good against penetrative. So even after they make a fix right now, I would still expect the missile cruiser to be able to withstand the fully buffed Executioner 2 or the Legion faction and everything. If you put the right armor, it should still be immune to that one damage type, but then it should fall to ballistic. And the cruiser that they have on right now should be immune to ballistic, even if you have fully buffed Howies with the Forsaken faction and all, but should not be immune to penetrating. So you kind of keep a sort of balance in the game. Do you guys agree?
In theory, yeah, but I think the problem is the way that they've made PvP now, especially with how much we slow down all these fleets. You know, if the base is set up right, you're going to be exposed to either one of them, so you can't even like dummy up like we used to. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, so just FYI, I won't be doing this again. I just took 3.5 hours of damage on auto without loading the target.
Yay! I did better than Ren.
So, are you using the long range setup or the short range setup?
I still have the long range.
Okay, maybe that's what, because mine is the short range.
Well, Dr. Death's using the short range.
Yeah, mine's a short range too.
Yeah, he's doing short range.
Yeah,
and
so
I muted
1
him.
hour
I'm
and
sure he
25
realized it.
driving, 3 hours and 30 not driving. So yeah,
My
I'll
question
drive.
would be, you know, did they split? Because you never know. Like sometimes if you go in just the wrong spot, they split off and go different directions, and then one
Yeah.
takes a whole bunch of
Well, I
damage.
don't know. I just kind of did what George said he did, and you guys. I just 3 o'clock, no Savage, no crew, don't load
I
the target.
cheated. I was
Right.
also running a Savage though, so
Ren, you went in at 2:45, not 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm Brazilian. We don't care about 15 minutes.
Right. I'm sorry. That was amusing. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I muted Dr. Death because I was trying to figure out who had the TV on. I think I think it was Rum, but I accidentally.
I still hear it.
But that's just you. Does anybody else hear it besides Grimace?
Well, it's quiet now, but
No, there's a
You said it's
very,
not-
very low background noise. It's not bothering me because it's very, very low.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was another one. I think it was Rum. I'm not sure what he was watching, but
yeah.
It was on Pornhub.
yeah, possibly. We don't know. But
For
yeah, I
your
muted them
information,
both.
for your information,
was-
I'm not watching anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it was Pornhub, Hefe would have just turned it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
incorrect in your assumption, sir.
Well, it stopped because I muted Dr. Death.
No,
It
I
didn't
was
stop.
still hearing it.
No, I was still hearing it too. So your assumption was
Yeah.
incorrect.
So with
I know
a
it's not-
Savage, I just took 138.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess I need to update my build.
But if you have a completely healed fleet, or you do what Ren did now, he has damage and went in. Do you think it's a difference?
I don't know. I just went in my second one. I was already damaged beforehand, so
I don't think on the second one I usually run out of charge. It's usually the third one that I start running out of charge.
Yeah.
And I take more damage than the rest of you guys do. So
I have not tested mine, or reckon I get more damage.
So, George, does that give you something interesting to start testing on now?
nope. I'm not testing a lot of anything anymore. I'm kind of on burnt out, ragged edge. Like you know, I don't know. That the game is not. Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm not going out of my way to test a lot of things anymore.
That would be the best thing ever. if people, okay, people can test, but for God's sake, don't post anything on YouTube.
Dude, they see it anyway. I mean, come on.
I know.
Anyway, I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I'll catch you guys later.
Take care.
Take it easy, George.
Have a night.
Bye, George. Take care.
Night.
Good night, George.
So, have you all discussed it? And the Rampage deal was a joke,
Yep.
huh?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Does he think it's a joke, or I'm confused by your question?
Well, I don't know if it was a joke or not. I didn't pay. I mean, I was at work. I just
I
thought.
don't think it's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
No. I was just trying to contribute to clarify what you're saying. Do you think it's a joke what he said, or was he joking, or
Hefe,
do we find
that's
it?
the question that I asked you. Don't ask the same question back to me that I just asked you. I
Sorry,
said,
I
have you
missed the
discussed
question.
it
Can you
already?
repeat?
And is it a
I'm
joke?
merely trying to clarify. I'm merely trying to clarify.
I
what
just
you're asking.
clarified it, and you cut in again. I said
Mm.
I was at work. I could not watch it. I asked if you guys had already discussed it and had determined that it was a joke or not. And everybody was mumbling. Mike said yes, but I don't know.
I don't think he was intending to be a comedian. I think it was a joke in the sad sense.
Sorry, what's the part that was supposed to be a joke? Other than the 404 pun not found, was anything else a joke?
Well, it's kind of sad that he uses a week before they're going to pull the dubs, and they give you, well, okay, here's your next here's our next
Yeah, and that's when I feel sorry for Rampage, right? Because he's just the mouthpiece.
He's the mouth. Yes, that's
He
correct.
didn't make that decision. He was probably not even consulted on that decision. He's the guy who said, okay, guys, what can I tell the community today? And somebody said, yeah, go tell them we're pulling the dubs next week. They're going to love that.
And you're absolutely right, Ren. I mean, he is unfortunately the bearer of the news that the higher ups give him to
And I've been noticing, right, with each Rampage report, his voice becomes lower. Right? I think he's
He was so confident on the first couple of shows.
Exactly. He was very confident, speaking loud, and now you see, his body language and the tone and volume of his voice. It's just like, do I really need to be here?
Yeah, and when you look at half in the show, it looks like someone's coming in the door, holding up a poster, and in a way, read this. Because you look up to the right and he start mumbling some stupid stuff. But he looks like a level 50 player that don't have a clue, and actually he is that, but you don't have a clue what you're talking about.
But I gotta give him props. This time he pointed the right way immediately when the image of the hole popped up, the picture there that he does the special effect.
Yes, he did that.
It's the first time he pointed right away without hesitation and got it right. So now I gotta see him doing that a second time to know it's not just dumb luck.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for that. Got this one right.
Of course, we understand that he's just, in a way, a puppet. He get told what to say and whatnot. So he gets all the pepper, and that's unfair because there are people. Actually, the one they put on the show here on the Forsaken mission sometimes, that GR or whatnot, Raken.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, why don't you give him a good lesson?
Yeah, and I'll say, I joke, and someone else joked about, calling Rampage reports the garbage report. And that's not an offense to the guy. It's just the information he has to share with us is garbage.
Yeah.
And I always try to respect the guy. Any guy in that job, because I wouldn't do that job for $500,000 a year.
I would do it, but I would never go live and whatnot. I would just...
Purple beard.
Yeah. But it's in a way exciting time. It should not be that because we should be so set in this game after 7, 8 years and whatnot. But we really don't know what's going to happen. they're going to try to balance, and I'm afraid they're going to balance this the wrong way. Either defense. Oh, okay. Defense is good now, so they're going to try to balance the other way, and we're gonna have a lot of cry out because I have the top stuff and people just walk my base. So they really don't get the point where they can like, make the game fun again, that you actually can do something to defend yourself or do something to attack a base.
Yeah, and if Hefe allows me, I'm gonna go on my soapbox here for 2 minutes or maybe 5.
I think Hefe's getting a beer, so you better go.
Okay, so I'm gonna be on my soapbox now. Here's the thing: I think they're gonna try to fix PvP now, but that's just patching a bad situation. Because somebody already mentioned that on the show today. It's not like, first of all, I think this whole super high deflection number decision is bad, right? Because everything becomes binary. Either you do nothing or you do a whole bunch. And it's very hard to design a good battle experience when the damage and defense is so binary. It's very hard. And I think they dug themselves a hole, and I mean, I honestly have no idea how to get out of that hole unless they revert everything back to resistance, percentage resistance, I mean.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. And the other thing is the whole decision of giving tiers, like the tier 7 turret weapons, this group bonus that stays there after the turret dies and stacks multiplicatively and is so huge. And I know Hefe already beat that topic to death with his stable there, how it should be. But again, each turret should have its own merit. And the fact is now they don't. How do you fix that? Right?
Yep.
So leaving those two huge elephants in the room to the side, whatever they do now to bring some semblance of balance still doesn't solve the underlying problem. It's like, oh, you didn't get out the 8 turrets? Sorry, buddy, you're a farm.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, you know, you didn't put all the armors. Oh, now you're a farm. Because if the current system was to work, they got to do it, like I said before. It's like, oh, the cruiser is a ballistic ship and it's going to be immune to ballistic damage. So no matter how you set up your howies and whatnot, it's going to be immune to that, but going to take damage from the executioners. And the missile cruiser is penetrating, and it's immune to the penetrating turrets no matter how you set them up, but it's weak to the other ones. So now, okay, what is this? Oh, this is a Forsaken base, and they are maxed up on cannons, so let me bring my cruisers. Right? And then some players will be smart enough to find a balance of like 2 damage types that somehow will be able to hurt any sort of combination, but not insta-kill, like slowly hurt, because the damage has to be like, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 per hit. So it takes a long time to kill shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just a patch, a band-aid. Like the big underlying problem is this whole deflection game and the whole group bonus. These 2 things just fucked everything up.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm off my soapbox. Thanks for listening.
Just a quick thought that I had talking about that, because I haven't really thought about the whole thing. But if you took away deflections and then we went back to just resistances, wouldn't that effectively help equalize the problem we're seeing right now, where, you know, holes can be sniped very easily and they have no way to defend themselves? Wouldn't that help with that? Depending, I mean.
But at that point, how long is that transition going to take to give us resistance hulls and basically trash what they've already done? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just was asking the question about, would that help in that aspect?
it would. I think it would help immensely. The problem I have is, how long would the transition time be? Or are we going to be stuck in another, 8 months of them trying to figure out where their dick is?
Yeah, if they're willing to swallow the pill, it could be instant, because with the numbers of damage, like the damage numbers in millions and the armor numbers in millions for conquerors and defenders, even if they go and recode all the turrets so they don't have 100% resistance bypass, right? They go back to being susceptible to resistance, and we go back to have the ships in resistance. Then they got to address how people, like how they would help people refeeding out their ships, and literally do as they did before. I mean, just go and recode the ships to have resistances now and not deflections anymore. That would still keep all the PV classes out of PvP for the simple fact that their armor is 25k versus 2 million.
I have another point.
Right? So if you have a turret doing 2 million damage and a ship can only take 2%, one hit kills any PV ship. You could still keep things separated just by the sheer number of health and damage in PvP.
Right.
Would community take that well? I don't know. I know I would like to see that handled properly. Go back to resistance. Get rid of this whole damage type deflection that was always overly complicated.
Have you? It's overly complicated for them. It's overly complicated for us. I mean, Ren, have you seen like my mid stage like a way to try to progress?
I saw your table suggesting how the turret bonus should work for short range, mid range, long range turrets. That I saw and I really like that.
Yeah, it's because right now, if they keep on doing damage, it doesn't make sense to me. Like what the end game is.
Even if it's damage, it should be something like 3% per turret. So now you're talking about a small number. Even if it's 8 turrets, 3% over 3% over 3%. Yeah, maybe it's 15% total. Maybe it's, I don't know, 30% when you know. But it's not a stupid number like, oh, you go from 200,000 to 7.6 million damage because of these bonuses, you know.
Yeah.
Do something small where the majority of the merit is still with the turret, not with the group. Because I've been talking to players right now who are very used to having their bases being very, very strong. And right now they're farms because they made bad decisions, like looking at the Halo and saying the Halo sucks. I'm not going to get that.
Yeah.
And now they're lacking turrets, and so no matter what they do, they're farms.
You know. Actually, that's a good point because now I've been grinding your opponents for 24 hours. I have 40 whatnot K, and what I see when I hit those bases, high-level bases, they actually have the toys, but they really don't understand the mechanics of fire support, where to put your warehouses, what gives you the bonus and whatnot, because they have the toys, but they put them out randomly, and when they choose faction, they choose like not ballistic, not penetrating, they choose another faction. So the game is complicated, and so many players really don't understand the mechanics, and I don't really know all the mechanics, and I'm from Norway, but you know, it's so fucked up.
Well, you took a big jump there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I understand what he's saying.
And I'm from Norway.
I know what he's saying.
You took a big jump there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's the technical terms, you know. When I read the blueprint, I can understand 50% penetrating defense, 50% ballistic. I understand that, but the cap and whatnot and all that is not easy. I need actually help to understand it all. But I can see when you're hitting so many more opponents that many players really don't understand how the mechanic works because they have all the toys. Many do.
Yeah, I know. There's a guy in my alliance, he's Dutch, and he said he learned English through Battle Pirates. Like by being on chat with the team and team speak and whatnot. He said that's how he started learning English.
Yeah, we have a...
Wow, he's probably got an impressive selection of curse words that nobody else is... okay. Yeah, it's an interesting way to learn English. I've also heard Grimace. You'll probably also tell us about a particular Canadian maiden that also learned English or improved her English through playing Battle Pirates. Correct?
She actually said she learned it from the game.
Yeah.
I don't think she can speak it very well or understand it, but like as far as writing it, she can converse with the best of them. It surprises me sometimes.
But I have a point on balanced PvP and whatnot. You know, we are talking about what Kickstart can do and what can do. And what did they do 1 month ago? They introduced overdamage. You know, we have talked that to death. That's okay. But what do they do this time? They removed the guard ship from the opponents. But why couldn't they do that like 1 month ago when they said we're giving you overdamage because people have problem killing the ship? I don't know, remember the name, because people were hitting their opponents. But you know,
but Northman, that I understand. They created the overdamage. I just think they introduced it in the worst possible way. But they created because when players are actually doing PvP, not hitting replicas, but actually doing PvP, there's a whole bunch of guards that were unkillable in PvP. Right? So I kind of understand why. I don't think was the best solution, and I think was introduced in the worst possible way. But I mean, even now, you hit a real player's base. Let's suppose the turrets won't murder you in the first corner. It's funny to watch like a fleet of conquerors trying to kill a warden, because it's going to take for fucking ever. Right? So again, it's the whole deflection number, reducing everything to pass through, and then they had to create. You see, everything goes back to the stupid deflection numbers.
And again, I'm from Norway. I really don't understand all that. It's complicated.
It is. It's very complicated, and it's a hole they dug when they decided to separate PvP and PvE, using deflection versus resistance as being the key, right? And once they dug that hole, they've been, just building a whole house, a whole bunch of rules, and ever more complicating mechanics to make something fundamentally flawed work. If back then, when they did the separation, they said, you know what? Conquerors and defenders will all start at minimum 1 million armor, and everything in repair in 30 minutes, and everything in PvE will have like 20,000 armor, 15,000 armor. They're done. You could still work with resistances and everything, and share the same armors and share the same specials, and not overly complicate things, because the mechanic on both sides is the same. Just the armor is there. No, they chose a very complicated path, and they keep going on that path, and it's bringing nothing but misery.
In Northman, there's also a lot of issues. I don't think Ren touched on this, but there's a lot of issues as far as, even if you understand the language properly, they've mixed a lot of terms up as far as the verbiage that they use, the words that they chose to use in implementing this are really, it's not an English, it's not English as your first language. Because an example, as far as like, I think right now it's ship versus building deflection versus maybe like explosive, corrosive, penetrative. The damage specific stuff works differently than, say, ship versus building. One works in PvP, and one doesn't work in PvP, and that became very complicated, I think, for a lot of players.
Yeah, I agree. It's really complicated. The game was so fun. When you went to sleep at the night, you woke up in the morning. The first thing you did was to open up your computer, see, okay, I got hit. Did I lose? Did I win? It was so exciting. That's long gone ages ago. Game isn't exciting anymore, and that's the reason why they lose so many players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or swipe to the left or swipe to the right.
Yeah,
that's another reference, but So I'm not sure. I wasn't making fun of you, Northman. That's like a dating app.
I am not offended them whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a dating app I was referencing.
He's a Viking, man. If he ever gets offended, you feel the hammer or going on your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Happy, I know you don't have all the opponents to defend you against me. What sector are you in?
I'm in the 400s, but do we have anything else that we want to talk for the rest of the evening, or should we go to the after show?
Sniping.
Okay, go ahead.
Who is
Talk
upset?
sniping.
Who is upset about sniping? I'm not.
Okay, you're not. Okay, you brought it up and say you're not upset with sniping.
Yeah, because I see posts and whatnot, and people try. It's so bad that you can snipe high-level players, whatnot. And if you get hit, if I get leveled, and I know I cannot get that person back in the space, I will do the next best thing, and I will hit them with my subs and whatnot.
You will hit them what?
With my subs. If I have.
Okay, what are you gonna hit with? You're gonna hit their chore fleas, right?
No, whatever is on the map.
Yeah.
Whatever I can kill, I would kill. If I can.
Well, with the right subs, you can kill anything.
Yeah. And I think that's
Yeah, but any conqueror fleet, you can also just run over everything, right?
No, I mean, with the right subs, you can kill any conqueror or any fleet, anything.
I think that's fair. You agree?
No. My only issue is associated with, say, your base part fleet or your FM fleet is completely. There's no defense against any conqueror fleet. That's my issue personally with it, even though I didn't bring it up. But I do not like that. The fact that we can have a one-on-one. Who wants to? Not mine, but anybody else. Grimace, do you want to take out somebody's, Buccaneers with your missile storm cruisers? Show how quick and easy that is.
I mean, I will if I get attacked first.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying that you would do it. I was just giving you the opportunity. If Northman was,
the point. My point wasn't that in that at all. My point is that if I, as level 121, go on level 99, and he comes back and hit whatever fleet he wants with my name on, I just have to suck it up. That's the game, and they should never try to change that, because that's the only way a low-level player can get back at you. Because he cannot level your base, he cannot level my base.
Yeah.
We say low level. Levels don't really mean a whole lot anymore either.
If I walk a level 100, that's because he don't have the choice and whatnot. But maybe he has a fleet that he actually can kill my chore fleet, my conqueror fleet and whatnot. I don't have an issue with that. I will never complain. I just hit repair, and I'm done with it.
Okay. But right now, let's say you have a Manicore fleet out on the water and you piss somebody off.
I don't fucking care.
Do you realize how long it takes to repair that?
Yeah, I think mine is like 34 or 35 coins at the sits now.
Can I chime in?
It's 22 and a half hours, but go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, people who care about being sniped are often not in the big alliances who do a lot of PvP. They stand in a corner with their friends, they do their PvE, and I rarely see those people being sniped. Not saying it doesn't happen, just saying it's very rare. The folks who sign in for big alliances and big PvP game and whatnot know it's going to happen, expect it's going to happen, and either they don't give a damn, like Northman said, or if they give a damn, they'll leave those big alliances because they'll say, oh, it's not fair that I'm hit because of what you guys do. So they don't belong in those big alliances.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, I just don't like the fact that the construct is there where it's 23 hours of damage.
Oh, I don't like that either. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fucking stupid. Yes.
Yeah, 23 hours of damage compared to an hour or two.
I've always said that, and I'll keep saying that. No fleet repair should take longer than I spend at work or sleeping.
I agree.
This would allow me to repair, without coining, approximately 3 fleets a day, which means you can do some Battle Pirate playing. You can do a chore here, you can do a PvP there, another TLC here. 3 fleets, no coin. You want to do more than that, coin. That I think it's the right balance point for the game.
And I mean, I agree with, like, I'm always expecting to be sniped. It's a pirate game after all. So if someone catches me slipping, then so be it. But it doesn't mean that I have to like it either, you know?
Of course not. I don't like it.
But Kickstarter will never remove the option to snipe a fleet because, of course, they profit from that.
I don't think they should, but I do, you know, either the repair times need to come down or there needs to be a way to, like, defend yourself.
Yeah. I'm going with some way to defend yourself. Because right now, if you have your mana cores and you get hit by basically anything, what are you going to do? I mean, fleet to fleet? What are you going to do?
You turn around and go back and snipe all of their shore fleets.
Yeah. And then you have, you know, alts of players that are just out there doing that. You know, with the, you know, base name of sniper and whatnot. You know, they just go out there and snipe players. It's messed up a little bit.
Yeah, what I don't get though, it's during this bounty right now. I know some players decided not to take part, and I totally understand the reasons. You know, but then they go out and now they're sniping players who were doing it, and then some of those players are committed, and now they start spending money to fix their fleet. So I kind of think you're sabotaging your own idea, because if you want not to take part, but then you go sniping others, and those others now start coining repairs. In the end, Kickstarter is going to look at the number and say, "Hey, we made good money here."
Exactly.
Yeah, and there was never
that
a good
to
way.
me doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There was never a good way, though. What would be the best way? Let's say you're going to protest this bounty event. What would be the best way to do it?
I am protesting bounty. Like I said, I am doing it, and I'll get as many prizes as I can, and I will not spend a single coin. That to me is protest. I'm consuming their resources, I'm getting their products, and I'm not paying a dime.
Okay.
I agree 100%. Right.
That to me is a better protest than not taking part.
And actually, if we're going to do a protest, the bounty is not the way to go. You should actually do it in the raid. That would be more effective, is my opinion.
I agree with that too, because raid you don't get anything for free. Bounty you can get a ton of points for free, doing nothing but showing up.
Yeah.
So if you don't agree with the direction or state of the game, you know, you play, you create server load for them, and you get the stuff there, but you don't spend a dime.
Yeah.
They're going to say, okay, something's wrong here, right? And they know what's wrong. People have been screaming from the top of their lungs what's wrong. And they know what's wrong. It's just sad that it got to this point. I mean, they should have perceived and reacted a lot faster, right? But now it got to a very, very sad state of affairs, which again, you know, I like the game. I don't like the company as much, but I like the game, and I hope they fix it because I don't want the game to die, right?
Yeah, that's why I started doing the show to begin with.
Yeah, and if they fix it, I'll be the first one to say, hey, congrats for fixing it. Why it took you so long?
Yeah, and as I said before, the first thing that actually we get a lot of cheer is that they say, hey, we're going to do it permanently, like you can do now in Bounty. You can actually repair PvP and you can repair a PvE. That will boost the community a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Well, should we go to the after show? Well, we're almost at 2 hours. I mean, people would get disappointed when we don't go to 2 hours, but I don't know. I don't know if I have it in me because I'm, you know.
Life is full of disappointments.
I'm done. I don't have any more.
That's true. You know. So do we have much more to continue on, or should we go to the after show and we can talk about whatever, and your guys' choice. It doesn't matter to me.
It's okay.
I think after show. personally.
Okay. But I will post it one last time in case people like to join. And see, on Wednesday, we'll be talking about God knows. I'm hoping it's something better than what we've been talking about now. So,
Hey, I'm
we
pleased.
want to say goodbye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thanks for
Later.
watching, everybody. See you.